This is country singer Dustin Collins. Thanks for listening to Shooting from the Lip. See all y'all out tomorrow night, June 30th, for my album release party at PBR Louisville on 4th Street.
Shooting from the Lip features views and opinions from smart, funny, serious, and not so serious people. This show is intended for a mature and not so mature audience. Enjoy the show!
What is up? Kevin Hale in the Shooting from the Lip studio. That's for me to know and you to, yes, find out at a later date. Doing the Wednesday night version of Shooting from the Lip, Shooting Stars, Wednesday night, June 29th, 2016. And I'm doing it with my tag team partner, Greg Unthank, the very loving and sweet man, Greg Unthank. Greg, what's up?
Hey, man. Yes, I am.
It's like a little bromance going on there, you think? A little bit.
Could be. To know me is to love me.
I think we've kind of earned that, man. We've got over 30 years together, I think, right?
We do,
yeah.
You know?
We do, yeah. Yes, you know, ever since that
here we go.
cardboard guitar. What's been up with you?
Man, just working, you know, same old thing. Enjoying the weather, taking some long drives during the day, and enjoying the scenery and the weather. Man, it's beautiful.
Cool. Got any big plans coming up for the 4th of July weekend?
You know, going down to the lake for a little while. My dad has a spot there, and a lot of the family goes and hangs out, you know, for the 4th. And my son's already there, and I think we're going to spend a little bit of time there and just enjoy it, man. You know, that's about it. No music plans. I may have a little rehearsal going on, but I've had a few weeks off, yeah, which is okay. No
gigs. You know, that's something I'm curious on. With it being the holiday weekend, do bands kind of, you know, shy away from the holiday thing, or how does? I mean, I guess probably not. I'm guessing music is nonstop, but you know, with the holiday weekend, is it kind of? I mean, because
usually there's more jobs out there for the taking. There's parties and things that kind of pop up around that time. But there's some bands who like to be off on those times, so it just kind of depends on what band you're in. That's Spare Change Millionaires. You know, they're late goers. We're late goers, so you know, they take those holidays off.
Right.
Plus the families and stuff. It's more important to hang with the fam, you know. The older you get, unless a huge gig pops up, you know, where you're gonna make some bank, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. With playing at venues, does that maybe change the mindset of a band? Because you know, with the 4th of July weekend, you tend to potentially, realistically, lose some audience because of the.
Yeah, you've always. There's that chance, you know. Again, it just kind of depends, man. It's kind of hit or miss. You know, another thing that you wouldn't think about is during the picnic season, the Catholic picnic season.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lake crowd. It happens when that stuff is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, holidays are kind of up and down. It just kind of depends.
Well, tonight we've got, and actually you labeled it right, it's kind of a techie show tonight. Our first guest will be Bob Randall, who is a audio sound engineer here in the Louisville area. He's a very well-known engineer. He's affectionately known as Uncle Bob to a lot of people, and we'll be talking to him on the first segment very shortly, and then second segment around 10:35ish. Phil Bright, who is a producer. He has his Louisville recording company. He'll be back on. He was on. It's been probably over a month. It was kind of like we discovered it was like a two-parter. There was a lot of information for Phil to share with us. So
Phil's a mountain of information.
Yeah, real quick. What do you know about? Share with us. What do you know about both guys?
Well, Mr. Uncle Bob Randall is he's a super guy, man. He's fun to be around. He does a great job. I've known Bob probably about the last 4 or 5 years. We've done several shows together, and always easy to work with, and just great to be around. And he's got a lot of stories, man. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of mixing for a lot of big bands, and he does the fair. You know, he knows his stuff. And
yeah.
And then Phil, of course, Phil and I, we go back a long time. You know, he has his local studio and records artists that come in. He does a lot of different things, and I've been able to work with him on several projects, and you know that's real fun. It's a different situation from live, and you get like you're getting two ends of it. You're getting the live, and then you're getting the studio. So it'd be a cool show, different views. Well,
without further ado, let's bring on our first guest, Mr. Bob Randall, Uncle Bob to those who know him and love him. Bob, what's up, man?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Bob,
hey,
do you know how? Go ahead. You know Greg, right?
Oh yeah, Greg's a legend. Besides being a great guy.
Hey, did Tony get with you last weekend, there. Bob?
Do what now?
I said, did Tony get with you last weekend?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he did. He took care of me.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, man, I owed Bob money from a gig, man, so I had to hook up with him. We had to get him his money.
Okay. Well, I did. I saw Bob this past weekend. I was at where was I? Diamonds.
WildWood.
Yeah, WildWood, Jericho Woods, which a band that impressed the hell out of me.
That sounds like a good show.
And City of Country. I mean, it was three great acts, and you know, and here's the cool thing anymore, because you know, doing this podcast, and when I open it up to, you know, promote the local music scene, and I try to do my best on the weekends to get out and see, you know, these guys that have been on the show, or you know, just bands I love. I have a 50% chance every time that I'm gonna run into Uncle Bob.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's not an exaggeration. I have a better chance of seeing Uncle Bob than I do, you know, my kids over the weekend. You know, but you know, but I mean, Bob, just to go real quick, share with us what would be the quick Uncle Bob bio? How long you been doing this, and what motivates you to do it?
Probably since I was about 12. I was one of those kids, you know, in grade school that used to push the AV cart around. And I had a couple mentors back then that kind of guided me a little bit about what was going on with the sound systems back then, which were pretty ancient. And so I was able to figure it out, and then I think it was probably 12, maybe 13. During the theater classes that they would have in your junior high, I was actually able to figure out the problems with the sound system better than the janitor, who was, at that time was doing the audio. So that's kind of how everything started.
He was pulling double duty.
Oh yeah, I kind of was able to figure it out, and then later on we moved. I lived up in Ohio, and then I moved down here to Louisville with my dad. He went to work for GE. But one of my first mentors, really good mentors, was Mike Harpering. I don't know if you know Mike, but drummer extraordinaire, and he came up through the 70s and 80s. I think he was with Elysian Fields and Will Carey's band, and he was WHAS's audio engineer for years. But early on, when I was real young, I was mixing one of his bands, Will Carey and the Nightcrawlers. And Mike, at the time, just gave me a lot of suggestions and kind of guided me. And that's the same period of time that I also started mixing at Phoenix Hill my first time there. So that's kind of, and then after that, I kind of went out on the road. worked a little bit at the Toy Tiger, and then I went to work with a show band, the Marvels, which was a kind of a 60s, 70s sort of show band, and I went out on the road with them for a couple of years, and then after that I got picked up by, we were touring, and one of the couple of guys went to work for Louise Mandrell, and I got picked up I went out on the road with Louise and worked with her sisters, and kind of everything happened after that the rest of my life. So kind of where it's at. There was a lot of other bands that are involved there. I spent some time in Memphis. I worked at a place called the New Daisy Theater, and then I had a lot of work on Beale Street, and then a lot of concert work there with a couple of different companies, Rally Productions, which is now Memphis Professional Audio now, but it was called Rally Productions back then. And toured for a while, left there, and then during the I guess the 90s, I went to work in the Vegas industry. Worked for a company out of Seattle called Greg Thompson Production. I was production manager for them. I worked a lot of shows with the showgirls in it, and went around doing that for a number of years too. So that's kind of the background.
That had to be a nice gig, man.
Yeah, it actually was. And it isn't like some of the stuff that guys think, oh wow, being around all those women. Actually, they're more like your sisters.
Yeah.
You work long enough with them, they're kind of like your sisters, and you just gotta be fair to everybody, especially when you're managing them. You have to be fair across the board, because if you're not, you get run over.
Well, I tell you, all through my life, all my girls were always kind of ended up like my sisters.
Oh yeah.
I never was a player, and I'd always try, and they was like, "No, you're like a brother to me." You ever have that happen?
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Would a true significant other buy the fact if you said, "I'm working with showgirls, but they're just like my sisters, honey"?
Right.
Oh no, trust me.
Very
That's
cool.
funny. Be honest. I think, Greg, you've been there and done that, and Bob he seals it for me. If you are anybody who has ever been, wanted to be in the music industry here in the Ville in Louisville, you have to swim through the Toy Tiger, those waters, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah,
man. It's a shame it went away. There's too many good clubs that's been going away the last century and just recently for sure. But yeah.
What about those showgirls?
Swim through there.
When I was working there, it was the time before Gus and Tony Wilson and those guys came there. And Tommy Kent, which was a bunch of fantastic guys. When this is I was there during like Midnight Special, during that kind of era.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I was there before the metal years, which and there was a lot of great engineers that came out of that venue. Look where Gus is at now. Fantastic guy. Tony Wilson, fantastic guy. Tommy Kent's got that great company he has. So I mean, it's that venue spawned a lot of people in the business, and that have went on and done very good for themselves. So it was a great place to go to, great place to have fun at. Same thing with Phoenix Hill was the same way. There was a lot of people that worked there, short or a long time, that went on to have really good careers, or just have fantastic memories of there in Jim Porter's. You know what I mean? So.
Now, when did you work there, Bob? What years?
Oh God, back in I'm thinking like 82, 83. In those years, it was early on, and I was like about 18, 19 at the time.
Huh.
And 83, maybe 84. And then, I've started doing other bands. I would mix bands like the Tooligans and the Tiger, and then it just.
Oh, wow, Tooligans. That's a great
That's
flashback.
a name I haven't
there.
heard in a while. Tooligans.
Oh, that's a great flashback.
Yeah,
Man.
I was doing shows there with Will Carey, his band. That's who I was mixing there. So I kind of got through there. I wasn't in deep like Scobie. That was his venue. And so there's a lot of history in that place. But by the time that started rolling around, I was already out on the road, and, you know, running around all over the country and the world. It's, you know.
Well, that's cool. I never
Wow.
realized that. I know Tony Frank told me you did a lot of big bands and did some road stuff. So,
yeah,
I
could give you a list, but I'm not here to brag. Hey, that reminds me. I just wanted to give a shout out to the next guy coming up, Phil Bright. The guy, besides being a great recording engineer, he's also a fantastic front of house live engineer.
Yep.
I've heard he mixed other bands live, and the guy is fantastic. Really, really, really great engineer. And a great guitar
Phil
player,
knows his
too.
scoop. Yeah, he's a great guitar player. He can play piano, bass, a little flute. You know, I've seen. And
I didn't know that. That's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But you know, the whole city, this whole city spawns a lot of great music. I moved back here in 2002, and when I moved back here, my first week I was here, I went to the old Jazz Factory, and sax player was playing that night, Ron Jones, and his drummer was Paul Culligan. I later found out. Well, the next, fantastic drummer, playing incredible, and reading, and just start going, man, this guy is good. And the next night, I go to Stevie Ray's, and I'm sitting there, and this drummer is nailing it. The band is El Roostar with Screamin' John. And who's playing drums? Paul Culligan.
That's Paul
and
Culligan.
I'm sitting there looking, I go, I know this guy. And I talked to him after the show. And, I mean, you can have people like that can go back and forth, in different genres, and just...
Oh, yeah.
And that's the difference between some of the cities that I've lived in. I lived in Memphis for quite a long time, and I love that city. Don't get me wrong, that's my second hometown, and I love the people there, and I love the big city. But I just don't feel like it might be different now, 14 years later, but up till the time I left, there wasn't quite as much diversity. It was starting to come around, but here, I mean, just look at the different bands that are just all over the city. Incredible music, it's just, the country scene here is awesome. The rock scene, although we did lose Phoenix Hill, is still incredible. There's some incredible rock bands. The alternative scene is great. The Americana scene, and look at all the great duos and singles acts out there. I mean, it's just an amazing city. It's an amazing city.
That's the thing about Bob, Kevin. He is such a fan of the music, other than just doing the sound and having a job and working. He loves the music, man. He generally, loves it as much as we do, for sure.
And that's a great segue. My next question was, Bob, is there a preference? Because I have seen you do, rock gigs, pop gigs, country music. Is there a Uncle Bob forte, or is it? I mean, do you just feel like, man, give me the soundboard and I'll make you guys sound great?
Well, he did Blue Funk a couple weeks ago,
I
man.
Appreciate it. But I'm gonna be truthful with you, though. I just like music in general. I'm probably known for my vocals. I have a kind of a vocal-driven mix, because I like intelligibility. The way that I build my mix, I like to have intelligibility. I mean, prime example was Greg's band 2 or 3 weeks ago. We did with Johnny Edwards. I made sure that Johnny's voice, because I listened to the recordings on YouTube before, and Tony had, let me know about everything. So I made sure that, I had to give honor to Steve Wilson, who is by far one of the greatest engineers in this region. Out with the Headhunters, and that's their engineer, and I wasn't going to do them wrong. You know what I mean? So I just was listening to this stuff, and that's something I kind of do. Is I have a kind of a vocal-driven mix, and then I layer everything around that, just so that when somebody's singing, they can understand it. But I'll mix metal any other time. I mean, I'm not Dave Bigelow, who I think is one fantastic metal engineer who's out with Bobaflex right now, touring with them, and he works with Tommy Kent. But fantastic engineer, and I've heard him mix other stuff, incredible stuff on Waterfront Wednesdays. And I don't really, I really think that you have to mix for the occasion. There's a band, Leo Knight, and Leo Knight I don't know if you guys are familiar. He's from out in Shelbyville, Emnitz, Kentucky. But he's in a band, Nobody's Business, and that's a totally different sound than like me mixing WildWood.
Yeah,
And then
that's great, man.
It's R&B.
R&B, Motown stuff.
Yeah, and when I'm mixing Rich Malone sax, I'm making sure it has that sound. And I'm not trying to do it like something else. Like maybe. But that's kind of what I shoot for. I shoot for the genre. And a lot of times when I'm mixing, I have kind of a semi-house gig at Baxter's 942 on Baxter Avenue, and and we have these kind of regional acts that comes through there. And if I haven't mixed them before, I will go to their Facebook page or YouTube or wherever I can find the band, and I'll listen to it and make sure that when they come in for sound check, I'll ask for a specific song that I've listened to 2 or 3 times, so that at least that I can get close to what they're trying to achieve recording-wise, and then make that recreated as much as possible in the live venue.
So be honest, Bob, like when you were mixing Blue Funk a few weekends ago, you took care of Johnny Edwards. So while you're mixing, your eye contact is with Johnny, and you're not looking over his shoulder because you don't care what Unthank is chiming. If he's going putting his thumbs up like turn me up louder, that's not you, right?
He's setting you up, isn't he, Bob? He's trying to set you up.
No, Greg knows better than that.
That's
I'm always on top of the stage.
I know.
Greg,
I know. But you brought up. You're like took some notes and made some questions, and you're like stealing my questions because one of the next ones I was going to ask you is, when you're not familiar with, a band or whatever, how do you do your homework? And you just kind of said it with, now with social media. I mean, it's a lot more accommodating or easy to get a hold of something, beforehand. And how often are you right now? Yeah, how often are you right now, Bob? Mixing new acts that on a whim you gotta figure it out.
I'll get stuff. I'll get like a classic example is that Nick's place, Baxter's. I get bands that come in there that are kind of regional, and they're on their way, and they already have original songs. And a lot of times they'll come in, and I'm just real adamant about at least getting an idea of what's going on with the band, because what is a certain type of kick drum sound, say for a metal song or a certain type of rock band, does not always fit in with, say, country rock, country, or jazz. And that's, a classic example for you, Greg, is if I'm mixing a band, an Americana band that's got a kick drum with no hole in it, I'm not afraid of those things. You know what I mean? I'm just, because I've mixed enough in my lifetime and experienced it enough. That's what this guy has won. That's what he's created. So I'm not there to cut a hole in the drum. I'm there to recreate whatever he's going on. That's why it's called sound reinforcement. You're there to reinforce what's going on the stage. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I go for. And my whole thing is listening to it and trying to recreate hopefully what they've done. And hopefully I'm doing it justice to what's going on there. And the same thing with your band, Greg. And, I listened to it and hopefully was able to give it justice. I had a great time mixing the band. I'm telling you, that was fantastic.
It sounded good up on stage. I can tell, Bob. I don't know if you've heard this before or not, but I can tell when the sound is good out front, even though I'm at the very back of the stage and I'm not catching what's going out front. I can feel it. I can tell when it sounds good out there, man. I don't know what it is, if it's what I'm catching slap back or just what it is, but I can tell for some reason. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, and I don't know what it is on the stage. I've mixed, I did a lot of shows mixing monitor, and especially in the old school days before ears, when there were side fills and you were dealing with a lot of stage volume, and we get and when you could get that clarity on stage, when you could walk around the stage and people could get what they need to hear, but still get the feel and everything else.
Oh man, it sounded so good at Diamonds. It sure did. It helps you play better. It makes the band play better when you can hear what's going on up on stage. And when I played at the same venue on the same stage 2 weeks prior to that with another band and a whole different sound person, it was not as accepting as it was. I'm trying to be nice about it. It sucked. And with you doing it, man, it made such a difference. It sure did.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I had a fantastic time. And with such great players, that was the fun thing about it. Was such great players, and it really made my day. And nothing, in Kevin's band right after the Velvet Saints.
Oh yeah, all night long the music was great. Yeah.
Oh, the band.
I forgot about that. That's a nice because country. It was a country thing this past weekend, and then, when you did Blue Funk and Velvet Saints, totally 180 when it came to sounds, and those nights, man, just the best thing with music, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here.
Well, I can't claim Velvet Saints. That was Elliot from Diamonds. He was the one that mixed him. I only mixed, so I don't want to claim the Velvet Saints. But I want to just say that was one. Yeah, that's one great band. One great band. Oh gosh, those guys are great.
Yeah,
I've good too.
What's that?
But but just to say, when I go to a gig, if I can close my eyes for 30 seconds and feel it, then it's on. I'm and I think that's where you come into play, Bob. You just you are. We hear it, but you are physically also giving it to us in some non-perverted way. So there you go. But and another thing too, you've a couple other. I'll give shout outs to a couple other sound guys that I know and think highly of. Corey Wilson, Rob Baker. You've got ties to them, right, Bob?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of great engineers here in town. I mean, just a lot. Just go down the list. Rob I consider a really good friend who is one fantastic engineer. He's also a great recording engineer. He has a lot of insights. He and I have a lot of these really long discussions, at all hours at times, where we'll just go back and forth and talk theory. And the same thing with Corey. I mean, and Eric Matthews is another guy. Jeff Flowers. I mean, there's just a lot of really, really good engineers in town and out of town too. I mean, Marvin Gilbert over near Winchester. Tony Wilson, of course, who is one incredible, just cool guy. I got to do that Dark Side of the Wall show with him. Tony had a thing up to his back, and I ended up doing monitors. Just doing the monitors for the gig with him and assisting him on that because he's doing better now. But yeah, it was fantastic, and he's a great guy. I mean, we just we're surrounded by great engineers in the city and this whole region, and I'm just blessed to be able to have as much fun as I do. It's just wonderful. I just love it.
Unthank, be honest. It's like this when I was at Diamonds this past weekend, and saw Bob, said hey to Bob. He's like part, and I know he's not. That's not the intention, but people who go see these gigs more times than not know who he is too, and that yeah. I mean, he's out there, and he's working too. So man, part of the music, right? And I've heard nothing but good things about Bob. And then I'm thinking, if what has there been one time, Bob, when someone from a band kind of like challenged you on what you were doing, and you gave them the look like, "Are you kidding me?"
No, not really. Usually those kind of I tell you when it usually happens, and any pro engineer will tell you that, is when the band comes in, they don't know you, you don't know them, and they walk in and their last venue that they were at, let's say Joe Smith's nightclub up in Minot, North Dakota, and they left there and they just had a bad experience for whatever reason, whatever it was. So that's their last experience, and they walk in, and that's when you meet each other. And that's where, I'm telling you, that's where it starts to have the information. Hey, guys, how you doing? And a lot of times I will learn people's names and already have a little mini stage plot, especially when I was doing monitors, when I was doing one-off shows. I'd have everybody's names. So what I would do is, hey, Charlie, or hey, Jim, and it would catch your attention. It showed that you cared enough to know what something about the band. And then when you're doing your sound check, you ask for specific songs. How does this guy know our songs? And it totally changes the dynamics of the relationship. You know what I mean?
Sure
and
does.
I think
He puts you at rest.
But I've ran into that. I've ran into where guys come in and have a really bad attitude. And 9 times out of 10, it's because either wife, family, traffic, or a bad experience at the last gig. And hopefully, when you come in, you're able to get that dynamic working, and everybody have a good time. I do this for fun. My biggest thing is I love mixing. I really do. And if I'm not having fun, that's when I would rather do something else. Whether it's painting or writing or whatever, and whatever I would decide to do creatively. I'm a creative person. I play guitar, play some incredibly bad piano, and even worse drumming, but I can play some fingerstyle guitar, but that's about it. But I just love music. But to answer, I hope I answered the question. I'll give you one example of a bad experience, and it was with Shannon Hoon of Blind Melon. And I was working at the New Daisy Theater in Memphis, and they came there a few times. And the last time that they came was when I believe that they had a substance abuse problem, the whole band, from my understanding from back then. Maybe not everybody, but I know he did.
Yeah, he passed from it.
When they got the show going, he was just throwing the mics down and just going over and screaming at the monitor engineer, and just it wasn't a good show. And I felt bad for our monitor guy there that day, and we dealt with it. And stuff happens, and you deal with it. You deal with it at the moment. In that situation, I went to the road manager, and I told him that he was buying every mic that goes down. And just how what's going on, and sometimes that happens, and it's unfortunate, but that's 0.0001% of it. The best experience I had was with Don Rickles. When I was working in the casinos in Tunica, I used to do a lot of the comedians, and I would be the production manager. Don Rickles came to the venue, and first time there, walked in, and the first thing he said was that he wanted the whole crew to have the same meal he's going to have tonight. He sat down with the crew and just visited with everybody, and the next time he came back, he knew everybody's name. Everybody wanted to work with him every year he came back.
I would love to be insulted
I'm just
by
telling
Don
you.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, it's that's the whole thing. It's just like Blue Funk the other night. I mean, that was such a joy. The WildWood show and Jericho Woods and the City of Country. I had such fantastic time there. Jarrett's venue is, Diamond. It's just a fun place to be at. I had a really, really good time mixing there.
It is a fun place.
Yeah, and that was all about it. But back to what I was saying. I'm sorry to sideline this, but I mean, there's a lot of great people and great experiences out there, and to let one bad experience, ruin your life, you can't, and I've had other things happen, but I leave that under the bridge. You know what I mean?
You can tell the glass is always half full with Uncle Bob.
Oh man, Bob gives good hugs, man. We Bob's a hugger.
Oh, I am a hugger.
Bob gives good everything, I'm sure.
Yeah, Yeah, man.
There you
I'm not as good as
I know
Chip Adams. Chip Adams
whatever.
is the best hugger there.
Yeah,
Oh,
Chip
all right.
the hugger.
We got a Chip Adam shout out for hugging. Man, we're just giving all kinds of shout outs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Bob,
that's it.
before we let you go, there's a little segment I do on the show called Round of Shot. Tonight I'll stay with like 6 questions. It's like quick Q&A just to get to know Uncle Bob a little better. So right now on your iPod or music media, what would be the current song playing?
Current song playing. Blue. I think the last thing I had on there was Blue Funk.
Get out of here!
Oh
I hear you,
my
Bob.
God!
I'm serious because
What?
I just loaded that. I loaded the CD. I got it from Tony on the last show, and I loaded it. I loaded it up, and in fact, I was listening to it today.
Man, that's awesome.
Well, this sounds like already a bogus Round of Shot segment. You give a shout out. I would have had more respect for you, Bob, if you would have said, I was listening to the last Shooting from the Lip podcast. I would have bought that.
Checks in the mail, Bob. Checks in the mail.
Check.
Okay,
All right,
guys.
Bob. Number 2, what was the first concert you attended?
Oh God. Oh Lordy, let me think. Led Zeppelin.
Oh, you
Oh,
dog.
Led Zeppelin at Freedom
that-
Hall. Led Zeppelin at Freedom
Good
Hall.
Lord.
Was that? When
Oh,
was
that
like
might be-
77? Earlier.
What's that?
What year was that?
God, 70-something, 77, 78, something like that.
That's what I thought. 77.
Maybe 80.
Wow.
80. Yeah.
Shoot.
That might have,
wish
that,
it was then.
Greg, I don't know. We've asked that question to a lot of people, and I've done it with my
Cool.
other shows, and that might be the coup de grace right
Yeah.
there.
I think
Yeah.
so.
All right, Bob. Here's what. While you're mixing, you're doing your thing. What would be a pet peeve besides the drummer?
Somebody trying to talk to me during the first song.
Mm.
That's my pet peeve, and it's almost every engineer's because you're trying to be so focused to get the balance, the mix. Because what you do at sound check isn't the same thing that happens when the room's full of people. It's a little bit different. So my biggest thing is having somebody, especially if it's somebody for whatever reason is trying to give me some information. I'll usually in a kind way say, "Can you give me just a minute here, please? And let me do this, and I'll get right back to you." And that's probably my biggest pet peeve when I'm mixing.
Okay. If you could choose one superpower, what would it be besides a drummer?
One superpower. Do you want this to be serious or funny?
Whatever you want, bro. This is your segment.
And I'm being very truthful on this. Would be probably.
Oh, I know, because it started with the whole Blue Funk on your iPod. So yeah, this is a truthful segment. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a truthful segment. But for me, it would be if I could have a superpower, it would be to cure cancer. I've had a lot of friends in the past couple years that are going through that right now, and if I could do anything to help, I've got a friend of mine, Bob Britt, a guitar player in Nashville, that's an incredible player, and he's going through it right now. And another friend of mine in Memphis is going through it, and it's just anyways, that's what I wish I could do.
Bob, real quick,
you know what?
I want to jump in and say that Kevin and I has a plan in about a year to do a big benefit, and we want to see if you would be interested in helping out with that.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah. Actually, not
Go
even
ahead,
a year. I'm targeting the spring, so that's something we'll be talking offline about. But that's something. It's a shooting from the lip thing. That's where I feel like what my show can do is
recruiting. We're gonna start recruiting.
Oh, there you
now.
go. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Go
No problem.
hit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good stuff. All right. Let's see. Yes. All right. Number 5. What's your favorite phone app?
My favorite phone app. Google Map.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
Is it?
And
Okay.
my second favorite, because I use it all the time. Both those I use all the time. Google Map I use all the time, and Audio Tools is my other app that I use all the time. If you ever go back behind the soundboard, you're going to see me using Audio Tools along with the iPad, along with the soundboard. It's just got all kinds of stuff on there that I use.
See, Greg, proof that I can't control a segment is when I ask a question and the guest happens to throw in, here's a second answer to that question. I only want one answer, but he's going. All right, number 6, Bob. If you had access to a time machine and go anywhere in the past, dinosaurs, anywhere, where would you go?
Probably in the 50s when Elvis was in his prime.
Elvis.
I would have liked to see Elvis back in the day. We just lost Scotty Moore, who I actually got to work with him and DJ Fontana back years ago when I was in Tunica. But I would love to go back and see Elvis back in the day. Back when he was just a rock star.
Back when he was shaking it, and they weren't showing it on TV.
What's that?
I said back when he was shaking it and they weren't showing it on TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I hear you. Nice one. And actually, I have 6 round of shot questions. So tonight, though, I've got a 7th, and the 7th will be asked by this person. Go ahead.
Hey, Uncle Bob, it's Phil.
Phil, what's up,
I want to know, what's the problem with musicians having substance abuse problems? What's a big deal?
Oh, I wish I could answer that for you. I really do. I'm going through all this with Prince and everybody else. Oh, my gosh. I wish we could just save them all.
Does the audio engineer, I want to know, does the audio engineer guy, does the producer also, is it sex, drugs, and rock and roll for those guys too? Guys, Bob, Bill, chime in.
Not at all for me. It's not anything for me. It's coffee, man. That's my thing.
Great sound bite.
That's about all I do. I mean, as you guys know, it's Diet Coke or Diet Dr. Pepper or coffee for me. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Back in the day, I was out with some bands and we're pretty crazy. But that was then and this is now. So, but I was usually and I'm sure Phil can tell you the same thing. I was usually the babysitter. So I don't know how he was when he was running the show. So, but I was.
Oh man, it's hard. It's hard to be the only sober one sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Greg,
my tolerance for drunk and stupid is very, very low.
Oh yeah, me too. Especially when they're
cool.
The girlfriend that's coming up and is just totally hammered. And
I have been told 100 times. I've walked off the stage on a break, and somebody comes up and says, "Man, what you guys really need to be doing is," and then they got some really brilliant advice to pass along to you. And I always say, "When's your band going to be playing here?" Because I want to come and check them out. Well, we don't play out, or we don't play here, or we don't. All those people that have all that great advice, they don't have a band, or if they do, they never play anywhere.
Right. All right, give me. I've got just a couple more questions for Bob before we let him go. He's been so good tonight. It's been a great segment with Bob. Right now, Bob, when you do gigs, how many percentage-wise is it at the request of the band versus the venue? Or is that is that for if gigs you do? Is it a band? Do bands? I don't know. Maybe you're going to tell me how it works. Like at Diamonds, does the band or does the venue bring you on, or do the bands say no? He's our guy. How did it? Both.
Jared gave me a call for the George Clinton show a few weeks back to come in and assist, and Nick over at Baxter's will ask me to come in and but Rob Baker and I are already working over there, so he'll call, like he's called me about a date on the 15th, so that'll be specific stuff. And then other venues, of course, Mo from Out in New Directions, occasionally I'll get a call from him. And then, anyway, so that's kind of how that works. But 9 times out of 10, I'm in there mixing a specific band. I've got a group of bands that I mix a lot. Greg, you already know the list, but But anyways, that's kind of how it works out. And then there's when I mix with the different sound companies. I'll get a call, or they may call me early in the season to mix certain shows. Can you do this? Can you do this? And that's kind of how that works.
Yeah, we kind of worked him into our mix a couple weeks ago out there at Diamonds. We asked for his help. He was gracious enough to come out and help out. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it was a fun show.
Very cool. Very
What's
cool.
the other question?
And what was the other question? I don't recall.
You're losing control, man. You're losing control, Kevin. What's going on?
I don't know. I guess the next question is just basically your plug your weekend, the near future gigs. Where are you going to be playing this weekend?
Saturday or Friday, I'll be at Baxter's and helping out at Bullet Blast on Friday. Thursday, I'm just doing a load-in gig downtown Convention Center, and then Saturday I'm doing I'll be at Churchill Downs with WildWood. Sunday, WildWood, Jeff at the Crasher Show. Monday, I'll be with Bella Blue at the Hyatt, doing a show on 4th of July there.
Very cool.
I'm sorry, it's Turtle Run. I'm at Turtle Run on Monday. I'm sorry, I'm doing the Hyatt with them later in the month. So that's kind of just the weekend.
So really, right now, how many days are you not working a week, Bob?
I work about 7 days a week.
That's about what I thought.
I stay pretty busy.
Yeah.
I stay pretty busy.
Wow.
I sleep and work is pretty much what I do, and then, hang out with my folks too. So, and a big shout out. I want to give a big shout out to my mom. She supported me in all this craziness. She always gives me some cool cards. Just all the neat stuff. Well, listen, I probably need to get off here because the mixing legend Phil Bright's coming up. That guy is like I said, he's one fantastic engineer, great front of house guy, and just a generally cool guy.
Yeah,
Bob,
Phil's
come on,
been.
Man. I'm enjoying just sitting and listening to you, man. I'm okay.
Phil's whispering in my ear. When is it my turn? When is it my turn?
That's a lie.
I want to hear about Phil's new project. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear about your new project.
Yeah. Phil?
Yeah.
You got things going on too? No, Bob. Actually, Bob, if you need to go, Bob, you can definitely jump off. But if you got nothing to do and you want to just listen to what Bob's going to say for the next week or whatever,
Phil.
Hang tight, whatever. Or Phil, yeah.
Yeah, Phil.
Phil.
Okay.
Whatever. Actually, at this point, I don't care who's on. All of you all can stay on. We could just have,
Yeah, stay on, Bob. Don't leave me with these two guys, man. Don't abandon me with these two guys, man. A drummer and I don't know what. I mean,
a very confident podcast show host.
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay, there you go. Well, here, hold on, Kevin. Let me write that down so I'll make sure and get it right next time.
Man, I'm not just a drummer either.
He's not just a drummer.
No,
exactly.
Yeah, Greg gives great hugs, man. Greg's hugs are like top notch.
Yeah.
A hug.
All right, let's enter Phil Bright. Phil is the owner of the Louisville Recording Company. Phil, welcome to the show. Thanks for crashing the party.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here, man.
You were on a few weeks ago, and we decided that we just didn't get enough time with you, so let's bring you back. And You know, when you do your producing your work, do you work with would you work with someone like Bob to help, you know, mix the product, or how would all that come about?
What do you mean? If Bob was running sound and I just happened to be there, type thing? Is that what you mean?
Or no, if you're going to
bringing him into a studio and doing a studio project with him, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah, would you bring someone of Bob's caliber in to help mix a recording?
Oh, man, a second set of ears is always good, man. What I usually have to do is rely on the artist or the band to help me be that, you know, step back and take a broader listen to what you're doing, because when you know every hair of a project, sometimes it is kind of hard to get a good big picture perspective. And just having another set of ears to listen, it's funny, I can send a mix to an artist that I'm working with, and they can say, you know, they might say, well, the snare's too far out front, or the snare's too buried. And as soon as they say that, I go, oh, yeah, wow. Yeah, it is. And it's like I get where I can't see the forest for the trees sometimes, you know, whenever you've started the entire project from the ground up, you know, when you engineer the whole project and you help them with their songs and, you know, you do every part of the project. Sometimes by the time you get to the mixing and mastering, it's difficult to have a really good big picture perspective. And, man, another educated ear is always welcome. I'm always nervous about letting somebody that knows about mixing hear what I'm doing, because, you know, it's personal. It's very personal. Your craft is very personal, but I try to be adult enough to realize that I can't be great all the time, and, you know, some days I may have, you know, the pollen's high and my ears are all stopped up from my allergies or whatever. And sometimes I can't tell, you know. I do a whole lot of mixing on a project and then getting away from it for a couple of hours, or maybe even 4 hours, or sometimes even the next day, and then open it up and listen to it again with fresh ears, and you get a totally different, you hear different, you know. At different times you hear things differently. So it's always good to have another person. If I wasn't a one-man show, it would be nice to have another person to just kind of give things a listen. Now Mark Beyer will do that with me every now and then. I can send him things if I'm to the point that I don't know what to do with it anymore. I can send something to Mark and just get him to hear it, and then he gives me his perspective on it, and it's always helpful.
There you go. Now, between the two of you, Bob, are you mixing, when you're mixing, is it for the sound of a show versus Phil, you're mixing, producing for a sound for a record, correct? There's that mentality. So
I've done some live sound, but I mainly do just studio stuff now. What's the big difference? Besides it's louder and... Well, people hear different when they're listening to a CD than they do listening to something live. For instance, have you ever recorded something on your phone at a live show that you thought was amazing at the time, and then later when you listen to that, it doesn't sound quite as good as you thought it did, especially singers? Volume makes your ear not be able to hear when something's out of pitch. The louder the band is, the less you can notice when somebody's singing out of pitch. Whereas when somebody listens to a CD, or if they listen to the radio, everybody expects it to be professional, because you can turn the radio on and any time of the day. You can hear something that's great singers, produce well. So it really has to be, it's got to hold up and stand up to everything else you hear on the radio. So live, you can get away with not really mixing less, but performers can get away with more because people just don't listen the same way when they're listening to a live show as they do something on the radio or listening to a CD, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It makes sense. It does. It does.
Now, I did when Greg and I went to see Jeff Tate's band, and I took some video on my phone, and Jeff Tate still sounds as good as he did when I saw Queensryche on the Empire tour. And he still hits all the high notes, and it's crazy, but there are those singers that can still do it live just like they did it on the album,
Yeah.
And Greg left before they played all the good songs.
What about the skin flute thing?
Oh, that was
Greg,
in his
you brought
repertoire
it up,
of instruments.
I thought Greg brought it up, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I just said he played guitar, piano, bass, mandolin, and various woodwinds and brass instruments.
Oh, so the word skin flute never came to mind.
I don't. Bob, did you hear that? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think I heard that. I would have lost it by then.
Yeah, actually, to keep the funness, if that even is a word, going, I've got a caller who's calling in, and she wants to throw her 2 cents at anything and everyone on the show. So, caller, state your name and your reason for calling.
Hello, this would be Shannon with Talkspank Promotions. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Hi, fine.
I
How
caught
you
that,
doing?
Shannon.
Hi, guys. I just
Hello.
want to pop in and say hello and tell you how much I love all of you and how much I've missed all of you guys. And when I saw Bob was going to be on the show, it just made my heart pound because I don't get to see him enough.
He had that effect, don't he?
Yeah, he does. He just makes everybody love him.
Yep.
Yeah. I hear you, Bob.
Are you coming out? Are you going to be taking some pictures at the WildWood show this weekend?
Well, what do you think? I'm making every effort to be there because I miss you guys. I haven't had an opportunity to be there except for the benefit for Kirby, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again.
Okay, you have to come on out. You ought to go by Phil's studio, too. He'd probably get some good shots out there with some of the acts that he's got coming through there.
Well, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love it. So, music
hit me
is
up on
my
Facebook.
soul. Maybe they might be.
Now, Shannon, you're familiar with Phil Bright and his recording company, correct?
Of course I am. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. We've talked a couple of names that we threw out some names during the show that, of course, Shannon has to remember. They're, like I said, every band has to put their blood, sweat, and tears through Toy Tiger. And then Bob reminded me there was Tooligans, too, that you had to, Tooligans. You got to. So I forgot about Tooligans.
I remember that well. I'm telling my age there, but, it is what it is. But
Boy.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, we'll just leave that one there.
What was
There was a mini night I forgot about from Tooligans.
What was the place like on 3rd Street? Shakey's. Do you remember that?
Shakey's?
Did you? Yeah, where it was. You don't remember? Well, you do remember Shakey's.
Oh, I do remember Shakey's, man. That's a neighborhood bar right there. That was.
Yeah, but
that was disco, rednecks, and gold chains, man. That's what that was.
don't forget, the shirts had to be buttoned or unbuttoned all the way down almost to the navel with the collar popped up in the back. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Now,
oh, my gosh.
Bob, tell us what's your agenda this weekend?
What's that?
Your agenda. Where will you be playing at this weekend?
Where will I be mixing at? I'll be at, let's see, Thursday at a load-in, Friday early setup and mix at Daxter's, and then late night at Bullet Blast down in Shepherdsville. Then Saturday at Churchill Downs, Sundays at the Jeff Stage with WildWood open for Crashers, and then Monday Bella Blue at the Bella Blue at Turtle Run Winery. And then Tuesday I'm sleeping.
Cool.
Wow.
Tuesday
you've got
you're
a full
sleeping?
weekend ahead of you.
Sure does.
He said Tuesday I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleeping. He's got to put that on his schedule. It's my sleep day, Tuesday. Man, Greg, I don't know about you, but Bob came on and just killed it for this segment. I mean, it was...
Oh, yeah, man.
I mean, it was
great.
Great segment. Yeah, awesome segment. Bob, I thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, and I know I can, for every bet I make this weekend, I'm going to put half of it on that I'm going to run into you sometime, somewhere this weekend. So, it's not a bad thing. Yeah, we'll always give you a shout out. Shout out and hugs for Uncle Bob.
Oh, that's what I got.
Yes. All right, Bob, man. Yes, we'll be in touch, and we'll definitely see you soon.
Okay, buddy. Thanks, man. See you, Phil.
Bye, Bob.
Bye. Look forward to seeing you this weekend.
See you.
There he is. A genuinely good man. Guys, I mean, this is the guy that, I mean, is it safe to say, is he, Greg and Phil, you know this, and well, Shannon, you know this too, is he like either the top engineer requested out there right now, or one of the top, 3 to 5?
No, I can't tell you, man, but I know he's the busiest. Him and Rob Baker, man, they got to be the busiest.
Well, and then Corey Wilson, too. I tell you what.
That's right, Corey, too. Yeah.
Yeah, because on my side of the fence, I've gotten spoiled because when I go around and I listen to all these bands play, when you hear a band with, Bob or Rob Baker and Corey Wilson, you get spoiled because then when you go somewhere else, you're like, oh, dude, he's really screwed up, or something, because you learn the difference, especially when you get accustomed to having such great sound engineers.
They're always out there.
Oh, my gosh. And then that's not to take away from others out there, because there are other ones out there that are great. But in my eyes, those 3 guys, they are just the epitome of the best.
Yep, they know what's going on, that's for sure. Mr. Phil.
Yeah.
How you doing,
I was just
buddy?
taking a little nap over here, man.
So what do you got going on right now, man? What's your major project going on? Tell the people, the millions of people that's out there, what you're up to these days.
Well, man, I've got a writing project with Carl Stuck that I'm really excited about. He's helping me.
And I'm interested in that too. I'm interested in that as well.
Oh yeah, you'll be coming in playing. We are just. I mean, he's gonna try to help me take song ideas, unfinished song ideas that I've had for years and years, and he's going to pick the ones that he likes and try to help me write, and then I'm going to co-write on his project also. And so yeah, that's so far it's just working out really well. We're not sometimes when you're writing with somebody that there are points of impasse, and it happens, but so far there hasn't been anything, that like he don't cling on really tight to lyrics, and if there's something that I say, what if, is there a better word for this? Oh yeah, probably. You know, he's just been so easy, and I don't have any personal connection with any of my ideas. Sometimes I realize tomorrow that the idea I had today was ridiculous. So working with him has been really good.
Shannon?
What's that?
I was asking Shannon if she knew Carl. Carl Stuck.
I don't think I do, Greg. I'm not sure.
He does the full contact karaoke every Wednesday night. He's the lead singer fella, and he also plays with Mary Mary, guitar player, and then he's been doing strum beat. He's been doing strum beat for the last several years with Rex Owens and Chip.
I have met him. I met him out at Bistro with Judy. And when you mentioned Mary Mary, that's when it rang a bell with me. So, yes, I have met him before.
And Carl does tons of solo gigs. I mean, he can sit by himself and play all night long and sing. And he's very entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good fellow, too. I'd hug him.
Let me bring another entertaining guy on. I think he was on our show last week, Greg, and I asked him to come on. I told him, I said, call in because Bob's on. Give a quick shout-out to Bob, but Bob had already left. But I at least want Jake from WildWood to come on and hang around with us for a few. Jake, what is up?
What up?
You got Greg Unthank, Phil Bright, Shannon Moert. You got all the food groups here tonight, Jake.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Hello, Jake.
Not much. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm good.
Phil, have you had the opportunity to meet Jake?
No, I actually haven't. I see a lot about him and heard a lot of good things about him, but I've actually never met him in person.
There you
go.
Jake,
I need to hook up with you, man, and get your drum carrier with the wheels, and I need to borrow that from you, man.
Yeah, man, it's the best $100 you'll ever spend in your life, I promise.
You know what I do? I've got a case. It's a big wooden box that I built years ago, and then after that got worn out, I built another one just like it. It's got big casters on the bottom, and I put all my hardware inside that box, and then I stack all my drums on top of that, and I roll it in. And it looks like a coffin. It's a coffin for. Actually, I store my midget hookers in there. It takes care of all that stuff.
Yes.
And that thing is heavy too. I'm going to tell you. I know firsthand.
Yeah.
So it's heavy midget girls.
Heavy. Yeah. Well. Solid.
Can't have any skinny midgets.
No. No skinny.
Yeah. So here we are. Jake, for the record, is the drummer for WildWood. Phil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He adores the attention he gets from playing the drums. Yeah. Stop, Phil. Or stop, Jake. Just let me finish. let me properly introduce you. But no, seriously, WildWood and Shannon, jump in, man. How hot has WildWood, the country act locally, have been? I mean, they just killing it.
You know, in my opinion, and I'm trying not to be partial here, there's so many amazing country bands out there, but WildWood has made a name for themselves in a unique way. They've got their own unique sound. Then they have their original music that they've got, but it's just full of so much life in so many different ways. There's really not a description for it. It's something somebody has to go and experience on their own, and they really aren't going to comprehend it till they experience it. That's the best way I can put it.
That's awesome. That's probably one of the best compliments we ever got. I appreciate that.
Well, I think my 2 cents, Jake, is that you got a phenomenal front man. He is charismatic. He can sing. He interacts with the crowd. He's hip to the crowd. But that guy, man, he was doing I don't know, Dwight Yoakam song or a Dwight Yoakam song. I'm thinking he was like he was several songs he was doing. Is like Kevin Cummings sounds better than the original, and he is so talented.
Oh yeah.
Probably some of that inspiration is from what he gets from his downtime by his lady, but no.
Hey,
yeah,
Jake.
Just a great guy, great talent. I mean, the guy can sing anything.
Mhm.
I think he's amazing, but I tell you what, all of you all make WildWood. All of you all complement each other. I mean, it's not just one, and I'm not taking away from Kevin because I think he's awesome, but everybody makes each other awesome in that band, and I've been around long enough to see it, and so.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Now, but Shannon, what are you and Talk Smack Promotion doing between now and the weekend?
Well, if you probably noticed, the last couple of weeks it's been a little low key, and that's a reason for. I mean, I've done that intentionally because I'm working on a rather big. Oh yeah, I'm doing great. I'm actually working on a huge project that I can't wait to roll out, and I've got to wait for one more little thingy, and once it happens, everybody's going to know. And it's a pretty big deal, so I'll keep the suspense going so everybody will stay tuned. But as far as this weekend is concerned, Jake's got this huge Country for Kids benefit that's getting ready to come up in the next few weeks, and then I'm working very closely with Riders for Heroes that takes place in September. So that's a lot of the behind-the-scenes type of work, which requires a lot of work that has to be done to make this flow. But I'm actually leaving for Florida Monday, so this weekend I'm going to be making a few pop-in appearances at a lot of different places. Where I end up, I don't know, but you'll know when I get there because you'll see the live streams taking place. So
there you go. Yeah. Good old Shannon. I pulled one of yours. I went from Saturday night. Did Diamonds, watched 3 bands at Diamonds, left Diamonds to go to TK's, to watch Van Walen, left Van Walen to go stop at the county line, and watched Junction Creek. So I did your...
Oh, you did pull a Shannon, didn't you?
I did pull a Shannon. I feel you.
Yeah, it'll catch up with you, I promise.
Yeah, but what made it, the reaction from those guys, they were glad. I showed up, and and I know that's part of the show thing, and that's what it is about. I want my show to help anybody that is on the music scene. If our show, Greg and I on Wednesday nights, can help promote, we're all about that. So,
from an artist standpoint, the fact that you guys do that and you go out and you make your rounds every weekend, like just you popping your head in saying, "Hey, what's up? I'm here." Like, that says a lot for us. Like, you guys promoting our stuff has done a ton for this music scene in the past, 6 months. So we all really appreciate that. And I think I speak on behalf of anybody that's, playing out right now that you guys are helping.
Well, I know I appreciate those words because, some people think we're just out there partying and having a great time. I hear that all the time. How do you, anyway, and I guess what I'm trying to say is it takes a lot to go around to all the different places to show your respect and show your loyalty to everyone. And, just one tag, like I've got, I don't know, I think I have like over 3,000 friends on my Shannon page and like 2,500 on my Talk Smack. But you take that and you tag just a few, and then they take it and they share it. You're drawing in a new audience there. And word spreads quickly like that, So
and then, when it comes to social media, if they're your friends, whether you know them or not, or they are connected to you by your own page or your Talk Smack page, and I'm saying this with my pages, and they recognize you, then they think, then they feel like they know you. In most cases, like Diamonds, I interact with several people that just knew me from the show page, and that was fine. Somebody thought I was a singer and wanted to know when I would sing my next song, and I said I only do a duet with Shannon, so you're gonna have to work it out with her. and Phil Bright is my only producer, and Greg is my drummer. So there you go. Once we get the four of us to get rid of our vices, then we'll come back. We'll be a story. We'll make a great comeback story. Shannon, Kevin, Phil, and Greg back together to record some.
So are you saying that I can see a version of Islands in the Stream coming up pretty soon?
Oh, Lord.
Whatever Shannon, I love Shannon. So whatever Shannon says, this is the duet I need. You're gonna play. Even if she says you're gonna play the girl part, I'd do it for her.
You know what? I see a Stevie Nicks Tom Petty duet coming up.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one. What is that? Stop Dragging My Heart Around? I think that's an awesome one to try and do. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know what?
Let's don't do Kid Rock and what's her name?
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow. Yeah, let's not do that one.
No, we won't do that one.
Save everybody's
hearing.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
Now,
that's up there
Phil,
with Wagon Wheel.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Now, Phil, how you know Shannon, right?
He may not. Do you? Okay, cool. Yay.
Now,
I'm aware of her.
He's aware of her. Now, the thing is that Shannon is, promoting these bands, trying to get bands, moving forward, and you're a guy that's, Phil, you would be a guy that would be an obstacle, or not an obstacle. You would be a necessity for some of these bands. Share with us how. Share with us how your gig complements what Shannon's trying to do with pushing her people.
Well, a big part of success of a lot of bands is having a great sounding CD and producing a professional sounding record. That goes a long way. As a matter of fact, I was writing with Carl Stuck. Carl brought in the WildWood CD, and he and I sat and listened to it in one of our writing sessions. So yeah, we didn't get a whole lot of writing done that day, but we did listen to the WildWood CD. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
Oh.
And Shannon can tell these bands that she goes out and ask them if they're going to record. And if they are going to record, say, well, check out Phil's studio. He'll do you a good job.
Yeah, well, I will be more than happy to do that, because I tell you what, and I say this very humbly, something really cool happened in the past week. I stopped in at a little restaurant to get some burgers to go to bring home to the kids, and there was a duo playing. And I was listening to them. My goal wasn't there to work, but I liked them. I'd never heard them before, so I just started doing a live stream while I was there. And I asked them, I said, hey, do you mind if I do this? They're like, no, I don't care. So I started doing this live stream, and in walked in 3 musicians who happened to be watching from home the live stream I put on there, and they showed up there and ended up singing with the duo that was up there. So it was really cool for me, because they said, yeah, we saw your live stream, and all 3 of them were coming from different areas of town. So, that let me know that what I'm doing does work. It may not be the best, but I know it still draws attention. And if it helps the musicians and it helps the venues and they see how it works, you know what? A mission is starting to be accomplished over it. So, but on
You're bringing
another
people together, Shannon.
That's my job, and that's what I love to do. Right. But on an embarrassing note, guys, you all get a kick out of this. I'm in the process of trying to find a 0-turn lawnmower, okay? So I found these ramps to put on the back of a pickup truck to drive this lawnmower up on. Well, I found them on this virtual yard sale deal, okay, and I didn't have a clue who the guy was, but he said, you know what, I know right where you're at. He said, I'll deliver them to you.
Yeah.
So he comes and he brings them to my house. Now, keep in mind, I just came from being out in the yard and dirt and garden tools and all this stuff, and I've got my cap that was given to me from a dear friend that's got these big red lips on him. Well, I didn't know this guy from Adam, and he goes, oh, my gosh. He said, I know you. And I looked at him, I said, you do? And he goes, yeah. He said, you're that talk smack girl. He said, you're the one with the big red lips. He said, and I was like, oh, it was that moment where I grabbed the bill and I wanted to pull it down over my face and I looked like hell. But I thought it was kind of cool that a virtual yard sale site, this guy recognized the lips from the bands. And anyway, that may sound a little corny to you all, but I thought it was kind of cool because it lets, again, it was just another thing where if people are paying attention to me, then that means they're paying attention to you, and that's how I look at it. I guess that's what I was really trying to get across. So, anyway.
It's always awesome to be recognized for your work.
Yeah. Jake Badger. Who do we have on? Phil, Shannon, and Jake. It was supposed to be Phil's segment. Phil, I will get you another segment because you didn't get to talk as much. No, it is.
Man.
I know it's okay. I know you. I know, Phil. You are listening, but you will. You're a brother of mine. I'm going to take care of you down the road. You played along because you interacted with Bob. Bob, we all love Bob. Everyone loves Bob, and it's like we all paid homage to Bob tonight. And then when you bring Shannon on, who is like the really the godmother now of Talk Smack Promotions. Guys, don't say no to Shannon. Don't say no to Shannon. Don't.
No, I'm just a middle-aged woman that they won't say no to. Like, who in the hell is she?
Yeah.
Just get out of my way and just let her go on up there. And they leave me alone, so it's kind of cool because they don't know what to say to me. They just let me do my thing.
And then you got this 20-some-year-old drummer with WildWood. And Jake, this is going to sound like I'm blasting Jake, but my 21-year-old daughter says, "Look, Dad, Jake texted me today." It's like, okay, I see what Jake's doing. I wonder if Jake's pulling the I'll be Kevin's buddy on the podcast, and then there's Claire. Jake, you got anything to say to that?
Sounds like he's calling you out, Jake.
That does sound like it's calling me out. No,
that's a father thing, dude.
It's a true friendship.
I know it is, and that's what she said. She made a comment that he thinks highly of you, Dad, or something like that. Oh, I'm like, yeah, that's the first line. And then I was like,
and you're believing that?
Claire,
are you believing that, Kevin?
Yeah. Claire, in 10 minutes,
we're like brother and
ask
sister.
him what my name is. Yeah, in 10 minutes he won't realize my name. After you all have talking for 10 minutes, he won't even remember my name. But no, I'm joking. She's a fan. She's going to come to a WildWood gig, and she should, because WildWood, when it comes to the whole country vibe locally, man, Shannon, I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. They may be the top country act locally right now.
Okay, I'm sorry you broke up on me. I apologize.
It's all right. I'm sorry to break up with you. Can we get back together now?
Yeah, we can get back together now. Come on. What did you say?
All right. I just sent you a little piece of paper that says, "Will you go with me? Check yes or no." Check yes. Together. I said, Jake and WildWood right now. WildWood may arguably be the top country act locally.
Oh my God! Are you trying to get my throat sliced right now?
No, I know, and I've got guys. We love our smoke. We love Junction Creek. Van. We love all those guys. But I'm looking at what WildWood has been doing lately as far as the gigs that they're going and.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right. Their gigs are phenomenal. The places they've been,
exactly.
The places they're going. No, I totally agree with you. I could not be more proud of what they've done in the last 6 months. I mean, I've been watching it for a while, but the last 6 months it's just like WildWood's everywhere, and I think it's pretty cool.
To the point the point I turn off my. Jake, it's on to the point where I turn off my TV. It's like, ugh. There's that drummer. Yeah. But here we go. Phil, we've just hijacked your segment. You know.
That's okay.
I owe Phil a do-over. Greg, we owe Phil a do-over.
That's no problem, man. I'm a team player. I play along, man.
I know.
Just hanging out.
But,
just hanging out with the fellas. That's all.
Well,
Yeah.
Phil, I can't wait to meet you, Phil, in person where we can actually work, maybe even work together on this. So
yeah, because I'm telling you,
great.
Shannon, when you get to the point where people you work with are looking for a place to go put their music together, you got to get with Phil. And Jake, if you do not know who Phil Bright is, make it a point to know him as well.
I've heard the name. I've never met him, but I've heard the name.
Louisville Recording Company. He's the local guy, and I know.
I was at Ridge 19's whenever they played Live Lunch, and I had some ladies come up to me and say, "Are you Phil, not a dick?" And I said, "What?" And they said, "We heard you're like one of the only guys that's not a dick that's doing studio stuff." And I'm like, I didn't give myself that title, but I guess so. Yes, I'm Phil, but I didn't know I was not a dick. But that's what I'm hearing from their group. I thought it was pretty funny, but they said, "Yeah, we hear you're so nice." And I went, "Well,
you ought to get a lot of business from that group, from that circle."
Exactly.
I do have a tremendous amount of patience when it comes to working with musicians and working on music. I probably can tolerate quite a lot more, when some engineers would scream and throw up their hands and maybe try to choke somebody or something. I can deal. I have a lot of patience when it comes to working on music because I love doing it. It's just so much. It doesn't feel like work.
I'm gonna ask for a pause break because I got to do a quick promo. So everyone, check this out.
Hey guys, it's Jake Badger from WildWood, and I have a jam-packed holiday weekend for you. Head on down to Hillview Friday night, 9 to 1 at the county line, as I'll be filling in with my friends Blackbird County. Saturday night, WildWood heads out to the track, Churchill Downs, to do Downs After Dark. Sunday, come out and see WildWood and the Louisville Crashers as we celebrate America's birthday at the New Albany Independence Day celebration down at the New Albany Amphitheater. Show starts at 6 p.m. Lots of stuff to do for the whole family. Inflatables, face paintings, beer, food, fireworks. You can't go wrong. Bring the whole family out. Thank you for listening to Shooting from the Lip. Hope everybody has a safe 4th of July weekend, and thank you for supporting local music.
There you go.
Dude, that was way over 30 seconds.
It was 45 seconds. Yes.
But the comment about inflatables made it all worthwhile.
Man, he didn't stammer one time, man. That was pretty slick.
Yeah.
And the fact that he brings up Shooting from the Lip is excusable to go over 30 seconds. Always. Anyway.
Well, and it is all Shooting from the Lip, so.
Yeah, it is all Shooting from the Lip. We have run our course for the night. Phil, I think we're going to reach out to you to get you back on because I don't think I got to talk to you specifically about certain publishing
That's okay,
stuff.
Man, you still need to come and visit me one day.
I know. You know what? That's a good point. What you've done is you're forcing my hand. I want to go visit you first, and then from that visit, you'll come on and we'll kind of like tell our story on what I saw and what you were doing. There you go. That's
Phil,
dude,
I suggest to get him to come out whenever I come out to work with the Carl stuff. Maybe he can sit in and kind of see how it goes.
Okay.
Well, I think
That'll
y'all
work.
just come pick me up and we all go together.
There you go. It's a date.
Then we can make it a foursome. And
hey, I'm coming too, damn it.
Then Jake, well, yeah, let's just bring it all on. We'll have a party.
Come out to the studio.
We might not get anything recorded, but it'll be a blast.
But it'll be a blast.
We'll do the live stream, and we'll just let everybody participate. Hey.
Yeah. Very good.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. We have just we've exhausted our time for the night. This Wednesday night Shooting Stars segment. We're past the live part of the show, so this is tapping into the only the people who listen to the downloaded version can hear. But before I let everybody go, let's just Jake, go ahead. Give us in a live response. What's going on with you guys in the immediate future?
We're at Downs After Dark Saturday night, Churchill Downs, and New Albany Amphitheater for the New Albany Independence Day celebration Sunday night. And it's going to be fun.
And, not to put you on the spot, but you do have an August gig coming up that's of importance. I don't want you to go into all the details, but just quickly, and because you'll be on in the weeks coming to it. What is that August event about?
Country for the Kids, third annual Country for the Kids that we're putting on. It all benefits Camp Quality Kentuckiana, which is a camp for kids with cancer to go to, kind of lets them be a kid for a week and takes their mind off things, and kind of gives the parents a break too, and just lets them be, normal, so to speak, and not trapped in a hospital. Great organization, great group of people. I mean, the kids are fantastic. All the volunteers are awesome to work with. So for us to be able to help them out is pretty fun, and we really enjoy it.
Cool. Shannon, tell us what's on your plate for the near future.
Well, again, it's I'm going to be right there beside Jake as much as I can for the Country for the Kids. I'm really excited about that, because you already know where my involvement is for the last 3 years with Camp Quality. I hold that very near and dear to my heart. But there's a lot of different things taking place. But again, going back to the Riders for Heroes, that is actually going to be on September 9th, 10th, and 11th. It's a 2-day ride, which is awesome. And then on September the 11th, we've got several bands playing. We've got Olivia Hinken, and we've got Caribou playing. So anyway, I've been posting it slowly. You'll start seeing it out a whole lot more. But it's going to be a huge event. And, again, it's for our heroes, our veterans. And just stay tuned, because I'll be posting more and more about it. And, again, that's September 9th, 10th, and 11th. But there's a few other things in between there. And like I said, within 2 weeks, I've got something really, really huge to roll out. And I can't wait. And I really kind of want to give a hint. And I guess I'm just going to go ahead and give a tad bit of a hint out there. I've got an opportunity for any band who would like to come and rehearse in an atmosphere that will be recorded. You know what? I'm going to stop right there. I'm just going to let your minds wander on this. But this is a dream come true for me, and I can't say any more because I don't want to hang myself. But anyway, just be ready, because this is a huge ordeal, and it's only going to benefit our musicians. And
good.
If I've ever talked smack before, I'm going to be talking smack then.
It sounds like it's filling a need that's well needed. A need that's well needed. It's filling a need that's out there. It sounds like.
You know what, Greg? It's if it comes through like I think it is, yes, it will. It's going to be a dream that came true for me, and I'm extremely excited, because it's going to be doing what I've wanted to do for 5 years. So
cool. We'll cross our fingers.
Stay tuned. Yay.
Let's make it a point to get you back on the show, get you recurringly back on the show, because you had your weekly spot, then you kind of stopped. But you coming on Wednesday nights is a good spot to share with us all the stuff that, or all the bands and stuff you're interacting with for the weekend. So I'd like you to come back and start doing that. So.
Well, of course I will. And it wasn't that I didn't want to. I've had a lot of projects taking place, and but I will. I shall be back.
All right. And then Phil. With Phil, what do you got coming up in the near future?
Well, I'm still working on the Hunchback Whale CD, and I can't wait for everybody to hear that whenever them guys come out. very talented band. And I'm working on a CD with John D'Amato. And I actually have a girl named Kim Weber coming out of Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, that I'm starting a new project with this coming week. And she's kind of a folk rock artist, but she's doing kind of a pop thing. And it's kind of interesting because it's something different. I don't get to do a whole lot of pop, and I always enjoy anything different, you know. And I actually have a message from Jarena Faulkner on my phone, and I'm assuming she's wanting to book studio time with Jada Blue to try to get finished with their project. So
very cool.
Got several projects, and then my writing project with Carl.
Good deal. All right, Phil, you and I will continue the Phil Bright experience, like the Jimi Hendrix thing, and get you on the show periodically to tell us about people that you are, you know, producing, and share with us some of the, you know, the new music, the new local bands that are in the, you know, either in town or whoever you're doing it with. But it's good stuff. Tonight is about sharing all kinds of the music experiences that we do, and you know, went from Bob Randall, Uncle Bob, in his role, Phil in your role with producing, you know, to guys like, you know, Greg Unthank, Jake Badger, who are drumming, playing in bands, and then Shannon, who is promoting local bands. And that I've got right here. These are all the food groups I need to do a show to keep me up to date on what the hell's going on locally. And you guys are my brothers and sisters right now, and I love it because tonight's show means a lot to me locally. And I
have to say, dude, my wife and I had a great time the other night. Went out listening to Greg and Paul and Johnny's band and Tony, and it was a really, really fun time to hang out. Of course, by the time I left there, my sensitive studio ears were ringing like crazy. It took me to the next day before my ears got straightened back out. I'm not used to that.
Poor Phil.
Yeah, man, I can't handle them loud drummers, you know.
Well, it was loud last weekend, Jake, wasn't it? It was pretty loud. At Diamonds, we had City of Country, Jericho Woods, WildWood. Those three bands just killed it last weekend. And I'm on the WildWood bandwagon myself. The show endorsing that is a band that is talented,
they're amazing,
entertaining. They're so fucking amazing. And
well, let me tell you what, I wanted to be there. I had 4 tickets to go, but then I ran into a 26-year-old young lady and 3 of her friends who were dying to go see WildWood, but they didn't have enough money to buy the tickets and be able to go out, and I gave them my tickets because, fortunate for me, I get to see you all, but I handed over my tickets for them to go, and I'm going to tell you what, I think they drooled for 3 days afterwards. And, Jake, by the way, you've got 2 new girls who just drool over you. So next time you're going to have to autograph a couple of those drumsticks because that's all they wanted were your drumsticks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely get those too.
Yeah, Jake,
one thing
for
you
the
guys
record.
didn't even mention, one thing y'all haven't mentioned about WildWood, man, they're writing good songs. I mean, when you size them up to all the other bands, how many other bands are writing good songs? Not really any, you know.
It's not. It's not cookie cutter country that you're hearing on the radio.
Yeah, it's not
really, really good written song. Yeah.
Well, I sing. I'm a little bit selfish all the time in my house.
Right.
My granddaughters know this song.
Hell yeah!
And for the record, it usually takes me 24 hours to stop drooling after I see Jake drumming. So.
You're
sorry, Greg.
Not a problem, man. If you're drooling over me.
So now Jake's interrupting an intimate moment between you and Greg again, like I know, like I was the last time I was on.
I know, it's like this whole domino effect. There's just some, yeah. Anyways, all right, guys, we have made a very good show tonight. Bob Randall deleted off. He came on and was awesome. His stories were awesome. Tooligans, Shannon, do you remember that place? Tooligans?
Oh yeah, I do.
He brought that up, and I was like, oh my God. Phil came on. Phil, we didn't get to do the deep publishing recording stuff that you're doing. We'll get you back on, and we won't have Shannon and Jake and other people to interrupt. I'm joking. Well, we might have.
No, man. I'm glad to be on, man. It doesn't matter. I'm good. I'm
joking. I know. And a fun show. And then, of course, our guys, Jake Badger, WildWood, Shannon Moert, Talksmack Promotions. They are some of my favorite good people. And the thing is that I could do my Monday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night I'd do a paranormal show. But if all of you guys right now was to call my Friday night paranormal show, and I don't even know if you're into the paranormal show, I'd still talk to you all because I love you guys. I'd let you just come on.
Well, you never
Derail
know what
the whole
happen.
thing, huh?
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that you had like Bob Randall. You're having the guys that that do the sound, that do the producing, that do the promo, because they're kind of the the behind the scenes heroes for all the bands out here, because it's a lot of work and those guys don't get enough credit. That's for sure.
I totally agree with you, because that sound makes the band.
I'm not just a pretty face. I got some brains. I know what I need to do with this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jake, you go text Claire good night, and I'm telling everyone else good night.
Good night, guys.
Yeah. Good night, guys. Phil, I'll be in touch, brother. Yeah, we'll see you guys.
See you later, man.
Over the weekend. Much love.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Hold on, Craig. Oh, gee, Unthank. You dropped. Greg, I wanted you to stay on. Anyways, it was a fun show. Again, let's give shout out Bob Randall, audio engineer for the Louisville local area. He's incredible. Phil Bright, Louisville Recording Company Studio. He does his recording thing. We also had guests, Jake Badger, drummer from WildWood. We had Shannon Moert, the owner, CEO of Talksmack Promotions. And I've got to play this promo for you right now.
Hi, this is Dwayne from Mode School. We'll be playing this Friday night at Stevie Ray's on Main Street in Louisville, starting at 9:30. Come on out, bring your dancing shoes, because we're going to hit the songs hard and you're going to hit the floor hard. Let's dance. So remember, this Friday night, Stevie Ray's, 9:30. Come on out.
Come on out, guys, for Old School at Stevie Ray's this weekend. For Kevin Hale, Greg Unthank, the hosts for Shooting Stars, we bid you a good night and a pleasant day. Peace out, Louisville.
At no time were any animals or people hurt during this presentation of Shooting from the Lip.